I'm Rochelle, and I'm an addict and alcoholic. I'm 27 years old. I'm from Trenton, New Jersey. For a little bit about myself, I grew up in a very dysfunctional home. Ever since I was little, I knew that something was obviously very wrong. I was fearful of everything, and I was so angry, and that's where I knew I was fearful, because of my anger. That's how it came out. I started being a selfish, irresponsible person at a young age. I started acting out around 12 years old, sneaking out with older guys. And then I just started doing drugs like every normal person wants to experiment. And, my experiment led to a full-blown addiction very, very quickly. At 13, my best friend was 16, her boyfriend was 23, and he was a full-blown heroin addict, and I thought that I was the coolest person in the world because I'm hanging out with older people, and, I think they actually like me because I'm getting high with them. My first rehab facility, I was 15. I got caught in school snorting cocaine, and my alternative was get kicked out of a vocational high school I was in or go to rehab. So simply, I went to rehab. That didn't stop me. When I was 15 and a half, my mother moved me to a different country. I lived in England for almost a year to try to get sober, but that didn't work well because you can't change who you are just by a geographical relocation. And I ended up coming home, and my addiction was way more out of control than it was ever. I got in a crowd with the wrong people. I started committing crimes, using more and more and more, and I eventually landed myself in jail a few times, and along the trips I was in and out of rehabs as well. At 23, I met an interesting group of people from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and went on a national crime spree, robbing banks to support my drug habit and my alcoholism. I didn't get caught. I was on top of the world. That was another high within itself, another rush, adrenaline. I thought I had the world in my hands, and heroin had me in theirs. I eventually got caught, and I spent 3 years in prison. I had a 4-year sentence. And as soon as I went in there, I knew that, this is not for me, Nobody wants to be behind bars. Nobody wants somebody else telling them what to do. And that's what my life consisted of for 3 years. I made the decision about halfway through my incarceration that I need to get my life together, and I decided to come to Florida and do so. And today, my sobriety date is June 19th, 2012, and I've been sober for approximately 3.5 years. And when I came out of prison, I came straight down here and admitted myself into an outpatient treatment center so I can still have the tools and use tools to cope with coming back into society as well as staying sober. And I think that being in a group of people that are such spiritual recovery, beautiful fellowship, it's just, I was honored to be a part of that, and I still am to this day. I go to Lake Haven to bring back service into the facility I bring in a women's meeting every week, and I try to do my best to help others, because that's what this program is about once you finally do get sober. So being at Lake Haven has really helped me.